y'all doing?
Yeah, man. We got Landlord in the building. We go keep it raw and uncut today.
Yes, sir, we are. Hey, wide receiver nation. We are here to represent you. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no beef. This ain't no war.
Right.
We're just finna talk about the wonderful move I feel like the Dallas Cowboys have done today. And we really made our football team better. This offseason as a whole, this football team is much, much better now. I can say that with confidence.
Yeah. And definitely, we are better. It's clear.
I remember last year I asked that question. I couldn't say it definitively, I tell you that much. I couldn't say it with the bass in my voice, you know what I'm saying, with my chest poked out like I can now. Right. I can confidently say this football team is serious about getting better and being competitive. And one more positive about this, I feel like this is really much giving Shotty a fair shot at this, man. You should be supportive of that because it feel like they really getting Shotty a fair shot at being successful. You should be supportive of this.
Yeah. And I would also say, be proud of yourself. You, Landlord, people that was angry about this.
Yeah.
So the people that was loud about this, the people that was grinding for this, to me, this is also an indication that your voice really matters.
I believe so too. And I got that from you. Like I said, I'm not in Dallas, bro. I'm in Alabama.
Right.
So sometimes it feel like I'm just talking to myself. But you know what I'm saying? We got the power of the nation. We got the power of the nation now. You know what I'm saying? The channel then grew, the network then grew, and now we got a real movement out here to push these ideas that's gonna benefit the Cowboys in the best way.
Yeah.
And Jerry and Steven and Jerry Jr., I told you he be hiding in the bushes. He don't never get no blame. Jerry Jr. and all the rest of y'all, they had to hear, and we demanded this. And we got other stuff to demand, but this is a good step in the right direction.
It is. And shout out to Team Weapons, man. Team Weapons was demoralized. Real talk.
Yes, I was defeated.
Yeah. And I'm going to say this too, man. This is also a lesson to Team Weapons. Because I saw something about Team Weapons that I'm going to be honest about that I didn't like. Team Weapons quit. Not all of them, but a lot of them quit, bro. Real talk. And I get it. I get it. It hurt. But when they started shopping Landlord, and they was openly shopping and saying it, that's when we should have been. But I saw a lot of Team Weapons surrender. So this is what I'm going to say. This is a lesson. This is a lesson. This is one of those, don't quit. Just don't quit. Fight. Keep fighting. You got to keep fighting. Because see, some of these fights that we getting ready to have go take a while. One tech go probably take a while. Let Brian cook go take a while. You know what I'm saying? So, see, because it was a lot of, man, they go just put Mingo on us. They go put Tolbert on us. Man, why even hashtag, boss? Why? It was a lot of that. And guess who was fighting while they was crying, though? Star said herself, she said, boss, I thought you was taking a break. You did 3 days of the draft, and now you doing all these videos on wide receiver too. Because I was fighting for what y'all want.
Yeah, we appreciate your efforts. And like,
you funny.
Real talk. But even though we'll sit up and say this,
let me fix that.
We can't get mad at the people for feeling like, for doubting this team. I don't think it was giving up. I think it's doubting this team. Because if you look at it, we really don't have too much control. We fought all the offseason and still got no results. So we like, shit, what else can we do? You know what I'm saying? Like after a while, and then you got to look at the reputation of this football team. It ain't like this a brand new football team. You know what I'm saying? Like they ain't never had a reputation. Come on now. They have a reputation of doing us this way. So of course, some of these people gonna look at it like, man, given their reputation, given the way that they looking and how they going about this, they probably ain't gonna do what we need to do. Cause I had to come to that conclusion, like, we not supposed to give up, but I had to come to that conclusion last year. I'm just like, bro, they not doing it. They not doing it. And still, and look what happened. It came to be evident that we needed more. We needed better.
Now we did. And I agree with you that it was disheartening.
Given the reputation, you gotta consider that.
I agree. No, I do.
And we've seen them do that before.
But that's not what I'm focused on. I'm focused on the fact that a lot of us quit. We formed a whole group, didn't we?
Yeah.
We said we was gonna come together for times like this, didn't we? Yeah. And we said we was gonna unite and be Voltron for times like this, where we want to amplify our voices. And I'm being honest, bro. I'm being honest. I'm not gonna bullshit. I was sitting out there and I was firing. Fire. This is tape on Pickens. Fire. These are some trade options. Fire. Hours and hours of film. And I looked up and it wasn't that many people with me. I'm just being honest. Should I be cool with that?
Nah, I don't think so. I mean, I know I put in my work.
You did.
I mean, I made several shows. I was on some of them shows with you.
Well, I mean, we was fighting. Yeah.
Yeah, we put in our work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, I can't speak for nobody else, but I feel like they did the right thing. Like, of course, I'm gonna say this straight up. Pickens is not my number one pick. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say that he's my dream pick that I wanted. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But I'll say this. I feel like they treated wide receiver 2 with respect. They really did. And they understand the magnitude and the impact that he could have possibly. You know what I'm saying? They really did. And the reason I say that was when I looked at that roster yesterday, because it really made me feel like we weren't finna do nothing, to be honest with y'all. When I looked at that roster, I said, bro, we got about 15 receivers. Like, I really looked at it, I said, bro, we got a lot of receivers on this team. And then we just gave up a 4th for Mingo. The typical Dallas Cowboys, bro, they would have at least gave Mingo a shot and said, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
The old school Cowboys, like if it was Mike McCarthy,
they would have
seen what they did to Mike McCarthy, bro. They would have been like, Mingo, we got to see what you gonna do.
Oh, they would have. I'm trying to think of the worst thing to say without it being too vulgar.
They would have screwed us with that.
Thank you, bro. They would have screwed us.
So that's why we know they tendencies, boss. So how could you get mad at people for bracing themselves? Like, bro, this is their history.
I ain't mad at you for bracing yourself, because I braced myself.
What people was doing.
No, wasn't it me that put out the video and say, what's the worst thing that could happen? Wasn't it me that put that out there?
Yeah, you.
I said the worst thing that could happen.
You even gave us the W and said that. You said, hey, if team weapons, if they don't get no receiver, man, y'all was right. You said that.
Yeah.
You was like, bro,
and what did I tell Team Weapons that day, though? I said, take all y'all anger and start lobbying. That's what I said. Yeah. I said, take all this anger that you feel and start going at front office, start hashtagging, start going at him. And that didn't happen. So this is my point. I ain't finna cry about it no more. This is what I'm going to
say. I don't think they would have did that, boss.
This is what I'm going to say. It was a good thing in all that anger, though. The good thing is all that anger is that it got their attention. Like, I said this on Twitter. I don't want nobody to be goofy enough to think the reason why they spent the 3rd round receiver on Pickens was because they have decided to change. If you over here believing front office just decided to move different, you are goofy. What really has happened is they was watching the anger. I've shown y'all over and over that they get reports on Twitter about what we're saying. And so they've been seeing constantly that Cowboy Nation is frustrated over wide receiver 2. I keep telling the fans, you matter. They watch what you say because they want you optimistic. They're reading right now the positive responses, and they're happy because they know we go show up to the training camps. We go show up to Oxnard. We go want to see the Pickens fight. We go want to see all of that. They know that because they reading that. So the next time we in a fight. That's all I'm saying. Feel what you feel. Feel like, man, they go try to gank us, but keep your dukes ups, Cowboy Nation. Keep fighting.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying. I try to insult them I try to bully them almost. I want to insult you so bad.
Yeah.
I want to make you do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm like, Jerry ain't finna do nothing, man.
Right.
Steven ain't finna do
Keep
nothing.
the
Them boys
pressure
ain't
up.
talking about nothing. I want to make you feel like a coward if you don't do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what type of time I be on.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's what's best for the team, y'all. Like, and then I said this. I feel like you gotta move with a sense of urgency with the timeline that Dak Prescott has, bro. You would be a fool if you sit up and just play with the last few years that Dak got, bro.
Yeah.
Like, he'll be saying this again. I regret not winning the Super Bowl
With Dak.
Prescott.
Right.
He'll be saying that now.
He will.
You gotta be able to strike while the iron is hot, bro. And it's a perfect situation. We might be a couple of years behind, but I'll say this move is more significant than Brandon Cooks. It is. Real talk.
Oh, yeah.
It's more significant.
Ooh. Oh,
it's
yeah.
more significant.
Oh,
And
Pickens away.
He's a better player.
Oh, yeah.
He's a better player, just point blank period. This dude is 6'3" and run a 4.4. I know Cooks is fast, but he ain't growing to be 6'3" ever in his life. He's not. You know what I'm saying? That's just not something he gonna do.
He
And
also
we know-
not gonna be gangster like Pickens either.
And we know his arms are pretty short. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? He got the T-Rex arms when it be counting in some of them games. So, and one thing about Pickens, he is a spectacular catch guy. Like,
Yeah.
that's what he do. He will head top plenty of people. And I promise you, if you're not a fan of this move, I understand because he got some little behavior issues and stuff like that. But I promise you, the first time you see George Pickens snag on somebody and he gonna pie face him to the ground or some crazy stuff, y'all gonna go crazy.
He gonna
I
pie
promise you.
face him, bro.
Bro, he like that. He crazy,
Yeah.
bro. Like, he's gonna do something that's
He
so
play with a lot of passion.
he gonna do something that's so football gangster that you ain't gonna help but to like it. Like, you just gonna be like, bro, hey, I'm rocking with dude. All that soft stuff is not passing with him. Real talk. And I want him to like tone it down, but I don't want him to lose his teeth though. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to remove his teeth because I feel like if he can't be that type of person, that take the edge away. It's the same thing with Dez. He like a lesser version of Dez Bryant to me. Like, real talk. If you would have told Dez, just be a good boy, do you think you would have got the same gangster on the field? You wouldn't have got that, bro. It's like it's a catch-22. You either gonna get the gangster, a little gangster outside, like in the locker room, and then a full gangster on the field, or either you gonna get a nice guy and then a soft guy on the field. You can't get both. You know what I'm saying? You gonna have to let them rock out. You can't bring them in like that. That's the problem I feel like what's going on with Ja Morant right now. They tried to tone him down, and now he just ain't even the same player no more. Like, real talk. Like,
Man, you
gotta
said
let
that
them
so
players
damn
be.
perfect.
Yeah.
And I want to say this too, bro. And I mean this. This is a special show for you, bro, and you greatly deserve. I'm glad I'm doing the show with you. I know
I appreciate it.
it got all my Boss Cowboy stuff, but I should be on your show.
Yeah.
Cause you been the one that been really pushing for wide receiver 2. You and Terrence Parsons have been more so you because you've done more work. Like you've been like he curled body greatly, Terrence did, but you've done a lot of work on wide receiver 2. Like we had these fights with you last year, just FYI. So I want to say that real quick before we move to this next subject, and I want to talk about this. Let's start with the positives. What's some of your positives? I'm gonna give you some of mine.
Okay. The number one thing that I love about Pickens, man, is his tenacity. because I feel like, bro, football is a violent sport, right, boss? It's violent, bro. Like you just can't be nice sometimes. Like you might have to shove them in the ground and then push them again. You know what I'm saying? Like some people help them up. You might need one guy that's gonna push them again. Like, hey, we could be friends after football, bro. Real talk. Like sometimes, like, did we not need a George Pickens playing in San Francisco? Would he not would have turned us up playing San Francisco? Debo coming in here with a boom box. George Pickens would have matched that energy. I promise you he would have. He would have matched that energy. You need them type of guys, man. You do. Like, everybody got enforcers. Ooh. You got you a receiver enforcer on your team now. Ooh. That's what you got. You got an enforcer on your team. Ooh. And now, listen, well, we doing positive, so I'm a cook on that later.
Wait. I got to jump in, too. You know how sometimes I say stuff and you get so excited you jump in and start stealing my own point?
Yeah,
I'm going to do you like that. Bro, I sure love what you just said right there. Yeah. It's so true, bro. Them Pickens types is what you want in real wars.
Yes.
You don't want them corporate types. See, put it like this. This is where you said it perfect. And I got to steal your point and act like it's mine. When Mike McCarthy said they look nervous, you wouldn't have to worry about that with a dude like Pickens in there.
Nah.
You ain't got to worry about that because he'll be the one that'll turn everybody up. You know what I'm saying?
Man, listen, this one of the best things I love about this the most is, like I said, I feel like they treated wide receiver 2 with respect. Like, he is one of the best deep ball guys in the league. He averaged 16.7 yards a catch last year, y'all. With Russell Wilson half the time and then Justin Fields. Then he was he was number 2 in 30+ air yards in the season last year. Like, he is a deep ball monster. That's what he do. 99.9 receiving grade. Shout out to HTM Sports for sending me these stats real quick. 17 catches. That was first on deep balls. 577 yards. That's first. Like, we got to understand the level of weapon he is. Like, he isn't a wide receiver 2, y'all. He is a wide receiver 1 that's going to be in the role of a wide receiver 2. I know, yeah.
Go ahead. Keep saying stuff that make me want to steal your points.
Go ahead, go in. This is like, I'm just happy today, bro. Like this changed my whole day today. When I seen that, bro, I had a great day today. Like, I'm talking about, I worked, listen, boss, I worked hard as hell for 10 hours and I still had a good day. I'm smiling the whole time. I don't even care.
My
like,
boy Big in the house.
My
OG, my big brother in the house, Big in the house. What's up, bro?
Salute the big
That boy come in and say, F them picks.
Hey,
OG.
real talk.
F them pigs, dog.
We been on that, big gang. Hey.
Let me jump in on what you just said, though, bro. Because we on positives right now. We on positive.
We on positive.
We gonna keep it real, though. This is an uncut show, so we ain't gonna give you no bullshit. This ain't gonna be one of those, we going to the Super Bowl because it is. We ain't gonna do that. But we gonna talk about both. But on the positives, this is why the thumbnail say wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 1. Hey! Shit, y'all better listen to Landlord, cause see, I think we making a mistake that I want us to keep making. You know what we keep saying?
What?
We got our wide receiver number 2. I love that we keep saying that because in his mind, and so you got to understand that YN energy, bro. Some of y'all don't understand that real. I don't want to say it, but you with me. You from Birmingham.
Yeah, real ninja.
Yeah. When you dealing with a real ninja, he gonna be like, who y'all calling number
about?
2? Who?
I'm telling you straight up, bro.
Who?
Listen, I reside in Birmingham, Alabama. If you didn't know, I don't live in Dallas, unfortunately. So listen, I live in Birmingham. It's crazy out here, and George Pickens is from here.
Yeah.
But he played football in a suburb in Hoover. That's why all the big prospects go play it if they want to get on the national stage, if they want to get recognition. That's all he did. So it say Hoover, but dude from Birmingham, and he's like that. Like, you need that type of energy sometimes. Like, everybody can't be nice. You need that one guy in your squad. Just think of it as a homeboy group. We got a lot of men here, even a homegirl group. You got one of those homegirls that you're gonna have to pull back. You're gonna have to tell her to chill out.
Chill out, baby.
You need one of those.
Yep.
You need one
That's
of those.
Pickens.
everybody can't be like, hey, let's talk this out. Like, nah, somebody you need to be like, hey man, that's the dude who we gotta chill him out. Like, tell him, hey, don't even tell him what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. We gotta protect him from him. Like,
and let me say this too. Let me say this too. I want the dude who really say in his mind, man, I really say in his mind, one. That's a thinking about. And it's like, now, bro, you better know what type of dude you getting. This dude does not see himself as nobody's number two. And I really want Cowboy Nation to keep saying it because I wanted to piss him off.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna piss him off. And I love it. I love it. I'm telling you straight up, like, he's gonna come out here. Then it's a contract year. Man, come on, man.
Oh yeah.
That dude ain't trying to come back to Birmingham. He got something to prove.
Let's keep going through these positives.
He's gonna go left.
Let's keep going through these positives because I got a lot of positives.
We just talking about positives on him or the move.
Like all of it, just whatever's positive. I got another positive. Positive.
Go ahead.
This is a big one. What did Brian Schottenheimer say he wanted his identity of his offense to be?
Physicality. For sure.
Yeah. See, I always gave a story on one of these receivers I used to play with named Jerry and James. And he used to crack back linebackers that weighed like 40 pounds more than him. And he was doing it at practice. He was so physical that on the defensive side of the ball, Landlord, we would be watching the film and it would provoke us to a jealousy, a godly jealousy. Like, ain't no way we gonna let him be harder than us. See, that's what. See,
Pickens on that type of time.
When I was grading Mingo, and I kept hearing Mingo, he blocks, right? So when he said, I was looking at Mingo was not being mean out there. He wasn't like, he'll have his hands on the corner and they'll be around the pile. Instead of dunking him on the pile, he would just, and help him up. And it's
let up. Yeah.
Nah, we need that violence. And see, I learned this from you. Shotty was his coach at Georgia. I didn't even know that. Is that true?
Yeah. No, they said not Pickens. I don't think Pickens. Somebody else said that. I ain't say that.
Okay. I don't want to quote that like that's true until I research that. I thought that was you that said that, but Twitter, they might be making up stuff.
Yeah, it might be on Twitter. But I think he coached somebody else that was a draft pick or something like that. But not Pickens. I don't think Shotty was at Georgia, was he?
That's what I heard, man. I thought it was you that said it, but don't worry about it. We'll just throw that in the trash. But the key thing was his physicality. You know what I mean? Yeah.
One of the other positives for me is, of course, you got, like, people think about this individually, like it's isolated. They just say we added Pickens. You got to understand the word add. We are adding him to CeeDee Lamb. Like, that's what people fail to realize. Like, if we didn't have a CeeDee Lamb on this team, this move would be okay. It'll be like, we got us a number one. We still would be like, okay, it's a good move. But when you add the fact that you got a top 3 receiver in this league on the other side of him, and then you got a healthy Dak Prescott, and then all he doing is wide receiver 2 type work, man, that makes it, that blows it up right there, bro. That changes the whole impact of this player when you think about it in that fact. Like, and then on top of that, if you didn't like Jalen Tolbert as a 2, you probably love him as a 3. You probably love Mingo as a 3 or a 4. Then think about this. Could you imagine having CeeDee on one side, Pickens on the other side, then you got Turpin in the slot? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Let's cook.
Yeah.
Let's cook. Then you can put Blue in the backfield, doing some routes out the backfield, or put Blue in the other slot. Let's cook.
See, now you just stealing, bro. See, now you just stealing my points now. Now this is stealth. At this point, you stealing.
I didn't know. How I stole it, I didn't know.
Well, you still stole it. Whether you knew it or not, you stole it. You stole my B bullet.
Oh, okay.
But just show you, they just show you it's a lot of good that I don't think some people might be thinking about, right?
Yeah.
That he improves the number 3 as well. A lot of us didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Is that when you get now 2 threats, and I did the film study on Mingo, and I said one game Mingo did look like a quality number 2. He did. Versus Atlanta, he did. But the rest of the games, he looked like a very good number 3. Very good. Top level number 3. I like
Mingo out of Ole Miss, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't gave up on the young man.
And I did the full
really
film study on him, bro. Like, I did the league. I went back 2 years. I looked at his Cowboys and I looked at his Panthers. I looked at about 12 games or more.
Then you got to think about this. That's the year I went to the Senior Bowl. So I actually saw him at the Senior Bowl. So it's a little different when you see him in person. Then you've been, you know what I'm saying? You liked him in college. You seen him in person at the Senior Bowl. Like, Mingo is a player that I really like. Yeah. Coming out of college, real talk. Yeah. Pickens is too, believe it or not.
So we now got 3 solids. Yeah. 3. See, people got to remember that it's not only receiver 1, 2. We got 1, 2, and 3 now. With one move, it improved all 3 spots.
Okay, this is a perfect way to paint that picture, boss. Before we got George Pickens, we had one of the worst wide receiving cores in the league. Real talk, easily. Now I feel like we done moved up to about top 8, top 7. We up in there for real. Like, we can really rival Philly right now. I ain't saying we better, but if they better, it's about this much. If they not, and look, his numbers is comparable to Devontae Smith, and he had Jalen Hurts. George Pickens got 1,100 yards with 3 different quarterbacks in one season.
That was a smooth sneak diss, bro. I love how you did that.
I'm just saying. I was asking, believe it or not, I was giving Jalen a little credit. I was giving him a little credit.
He said, and he did that with Jalen Hurts.
You know, I'm not the biggest Hurts man. He got a Super Bowl, so I can't say too much more about him. But I'm going to say this. If you think about it, George Pickens got 1,100 yards with like 3 quarterbacks in 1 year. Last year, he had 2 different quarterbacks and still got 900 yards. Now, his touchdowns ain't that crazy, but his yardage and his big playability and all that stuff is excellent. So that's the second positive for me. It improves your overall receiving core from one of the worst to one of the best instantly.
I would also say the third positive is Pickens is now going to be matched up mostly on number 2 corners and nickels. Mm-hmm. So everything that you talked about was versus likely number 1 corners and brackets, because he also was the top weapon. So it was almost what he was going through in Pittsburgh was almost worse than CeeDee Lamb. It was nobody else but Pickens.
Yeah.
So the fact that he gonna have better matchups, that's just,
another positive. This some people sleeping on.
What's that?
If you got to pay all this attention to CeeDee Lamb, you got to pay all this attention to George Pickens. Guess who finna eat? Jake Ferguson in the middle, like, anybody gonna check me? You know what I'm saying? Like, Jake Ferguson got a little more wiggle room now because these coverages is rolling and they bracketing and they trying to figure out these 2 alpha receivers over here. And now Ferguson got the whole middle of the field to operate. If Jake Ferguson don't have a big year this year, I think it's time to move on. I'm gonna tell you right now.
My boy Black Cloud say, y'all tone totally different than it was the first night of the draft. Yeah. I'm going to be honest, because Black Cloud was trying to calm everybody down. He was. I'm going to give you credit, Black Cloud. You was right. He was trying to calm us down. But
listen, y'all got to realize, if we figured that the Cowboys are actually do something in free agency, we wouldn't have never been complaining in the first place.
Yeah, if they would have got it out the way. Yeah.
If we figured that that's what they actually was going to do, we would have been like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't care where the wide receiver came from. We just wanted a dope wide receiver too. That's all we wanted. I don't care if it came from the draft. I don't care if it came from Walmart. Long as he was a dope wide receiver too, we was cool with that.
Yeah.
That's like, so I don't understand what people saying. Like, you know, of course we gonna complain because we felt like that was the only option that the Cowboys gave us. Because guess what? Usually it is.
Yeah.
Usually it is. The draft is all we got. Y'all know that. If you've been following this football team, you can't deny that. The draft is usually what we have. It's the end all be all when it comes to our team build. Most of the times.
Facts. So this is where some of y'all go probably want to tune out.
We ain't do his abilities though when we come to the catches and stuff like that. But you know what I'm saying? We can go to the negatives.
No.
They know he's a spectacular catch guy.
No, we can talk about the positives because that was one more bullet on my positives. I did have that bullet, what you just said, that he basically one of the best vertical ball catch guys in the league, right?
And he's tall like that too. He's 6'3".
6'3".
And then he got some athleticism, top tier body control in the air, top tier hands, top tier 50-50 guy. I'm talking about he's up there with the best of them. No lie.
But
like,
you know,
and that's not me capping because he's on the team. That's me seeing his skill set and evaluating him.
Yeah. And then Black Cloud said, I learned a lot from y'all. I just think it was time to panic. Yeah, it was panic, but I believe it was deserved panic. You know what I'm saying? It was.
Black Cloud, Landlord was waiting on a receiver 2 years. It's time to panic for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I went through a whole draft, didn't get one. Went through a whole nother season and another draft, didn't get one. So what you think I'm thinking about? I'm like, man,
they finna do it again.
Just ain't happening.
Especially people that's been waiting on running back and stuff like that. Boy, they, you know. But but I also want to be balanced, bro. You know I ain't gonna lie. Because people have been shooting me with that one. Like when I show his average separation, they say, boss, this look like separation to me. Right? But this is the thing, y'all. When you look at his deep ball accuracy and stuff, at his deep ball success, also keep in mind, and that's just where we got to measure the Kool-Aid, the average deep ball is only 2 attempts a game. So even though Dak is cold at deep balls and he's cold at catching deep balls, what's going to be the real effect of that if it's only 2 attempts a game? You know what I'm saying? So I want to be measured on that. You know what I mean? I don't want to overinflate that like we go be gunning it and no team gun it like that. Most team go take 2 strikes at the most a game.
Well, I say this though. I feel like, okay, if we are ranked first team, I feel like you might be able to get a few more of those attempts though, boss. Think about it. If we dominant in the run game, we running the ball like crazy, we can take a few more shots than normal because they all preparing for the run. They trying to stop the run. What the linebackers doing? They coming up. You know what I'm saying? What the safeties doing? They cheating up. So you can get a few of those deep balls over their head because everybody's preparing for the run. This is my whole philosophy, bro. It's exactly what Philly was doing, y'all. All they was doing was dominating with the run, and then when everybody sell out for the run, they going over the top. They got 2 weapons that's hard to guard one-on-one. So now you are dedicating yourself to stop the run, and now they like, okay, I got one-on-one on both sides. And they trust they gotta win those one-on-one matchups. We can do that same thing now. If we go get us a dope running back, we can do the same thing. Then if you add the play action to it, that make it even worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you do the play action, it's like, oh my God, we don't know if they running the ball. They usually run out this formation. So it's a run. So your linebackers cheating up, your safety in the box, everybody trying to stop the run. Now you got George Pickens one-on-one. You got CeeDee Lamb one-on-one. I'd take both of those matchups against almost any corner in the league all day long.
So that brings me to my first negative. And then I had a question. Somebody said, how's his routes? How's his hands?
Hands is spectacular.
His
routes is normal. I wouldn't say they below average. They normal. But I'm going to say this.
Let me really define his routes because I really did a lot of work on him. he has a lot of potential. He just hasn't reached it yet.
I can give you that. But
this is what I mean by that. I see the burst. I see the quickness. I see small things that he got to work on that improve him. And it's small things. Like, and I'm going to show this on the film when me and Henny. Oh, I want to plug this real quick. We doing this one with Landlord, where we just talking about raw and uncut reactions. In about 45 minutes, we doing a whole film breakdown. It's going to show his blocking, his catching. We going to show the vertical. We going to show targets. We going to show all of it. We going to go deep in the Pickens this time. We going to know what his breath smell like.
Pause. But yeah.
But
I'll say this.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
I was just about to say, the thing about Pickens, of course, his route running, I'm not trying to bombard the negatives, but I do think it's important to say this because we was about to go into this conversation before we started the show. I asked you, is it more than one way to get separation?
Yes.
Because you a DB, boss. That's why I know you understand my language.
Yeah.
If a receiver is physical enough, he gonna get separation, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And look, it might just you need separation only when the ball coming for real. If your quarterback know you, your quarterback got to be in sync. Now, I'm going to be real with you. This a negative, so it fit what we talking about.
Yeah.
George Pickens is very physical.
Yep.
I don't know if he going to get away with a lot of that in Dallas. You got a big spotlight on you. You are not in Kansas anymore. You're not in Pittsburgh anymore. The referees can't wait to blow the whistle on you when you're a Dallas Cowboy. We know that. So George gonna have to tone it down a little bit or get a little more slick with how he operate. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna be able to just blatantly just throw people off of him like he tend to do. But I'm gonna say this: physicality can get you open. You ain't gotta be the best route runner. If I know how to position my body and bump you off of me at the top of the route, you know what I'm saying? It's just little subtle things that boss being a corner. I'm sure people done tried to pull that on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a subtle little bump. It's a subtle little toss your hand. You know what I'm saying? At the top of the route, he do that type of stuff masterfully. Like, that's him. It's not the Chris route that he just gonna be, you know what I'm saying? That ain't him. He's a physical player that's gonna get open with physicality, and he's gonna catch over you. That's who he is. That's who he is. And it sounds like a version of a Dez to me. Like, he's not Dez, but that's a very similar skill set that he gonna bring to the team.
I'm gonna address that when we talk about negatives, and I can address it now. But before we address that, I've been wanting somebody to come in here and say this. Tariq said, "Boss, if we got to be happy that you got what you wanted out of the draft, be happy that we got our weapon. And he better than Cooks and brings toughness to the. You must have just came in late one." Because I expressed many times that I'm happy. I
got
for
a couple
weapons.
of supers over here too, man. So when you get a chance, let me touch on them.
I got you.
Salute to y'all too, man. I appreciate y'all.
So first, I'm happy, and I said that many times. I'm excited for team weapons. But two, let's stop fronting like y'all was patient. Y'all wasn't patient. Don't act like y'all was happy. Don't act like y'all just sat back and was happy for me. I think we need to hear
after
from
the draft.
team
I was happy.
too.
Afterwards, I had to wait.
Salute.
What's up,
Y'all
bro?
go first?
Yeah.
Y'all want me to get off?
No.
Hey, y'all won, bro. Hey, congratulations.
This is right after the pick. I'm talking about not even 5 minutes after the pick.
Y'all won today.
Goddamn, I got a sarcastic clap.
I give y'all kudos, but I want y'all to understand. You can celebrate, you can talk your shit.
Damn!
But if this don't work, I'm putting cases on all you.
Damn! So did y'all really just sit back happy? You supposed to.
Oh,
You supposed to say this
That's right.
As you should.
You should.
I'm a screen
I ain't running.
A lot of this. I want y'all to know this now, and I pray to
Landlord,
God
you
this right.
Hey, and if it's work, I'm putting cases on you.
Wait a minute. This is what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna let y'all eat. Look, listen. I pray to God that this works. I'm not praying against my team, but I promise you, y'all will feel the full wrath of Landlord from Alabama if this shit don't work. I promise you.
And Damn. See, because I've been seeing that cap all day.
I've been seeing that. That ain't them.
No. That was them, bro. That was them. I took a lot of shots, bro. Listen, we had to shut down the draft show. Cats was so mad. Man, listen, Landlord, you got so many amens in the chat that night. Boy, I'm talking about it was amen, Landlord. Get him. Yeah, get him. Booker. What they doing? Oh my God, it was crazy. So did y'all really sit back happy?
I mean, that was my initial reaction. That's like how many, like 5 minutes.
But I'm just saying, bro. If you go to my Twitter,
I'm gonna be mad.
Let me show you this bullshit people been saying to me, bro. It's been irking the hell out of me too, bro. People, boss, can we be happy? Go ahead.
Let me test the super real quick. Shout out to Life's Crazy, man, for the $4.99 for your mind. I appreciate you, sir. He says, I was surprised and happy to see like Big Guy and Giants say Dallas finally let they nuts hang now. I needed to see that post. June cut DT and another DB and Chubbs. I agree with you, man. Hey, if you could get Big Guy and Giants to be positive on that type of time, like talking crazy, Dallas did they big one, bro. Dallas did something. And and look, that ain't no knock on Big Guy because he ain't gonna sugarcoat nothing. He's not gonna give the Joneses. You know he ain't finna give them no props.
He is not.
So salute the Big Guy and Giants, and I feel relieved like that too, bro. And that's rare. I've been mad for 2 years, no cap. It feel weird to be happy. I'm telling you straight up, it feel weird.
Now you stepped in and shot us, bro. And let's be honest, bro. You should have. Your ass was selfish, bro. Cause you should have let us have. Yeah, no, bro. You should have let us have. No, listen, bro. You should have let us have our moment, bro. Because you knew we was fighting uphill for Booker, bro. You knew that. That was an uphill fight, bro. And we hit a buzzer beater. Boom. And we couldn't celebrate. My boy came in and said,
I felt good about it afterwards. I did the slow golf clap. Hold on, let me get on these supers real quick. Shout out to Todd Lockhart with the $5 super, man. I appreciate you, bro. He says, okay, Landlord, I'm back on board. You got the receiver you've been asking for. Think we doing anything else? Yeah, I think Jerry said 2 moves now. Hey, Jerry usually be selling us something, but you know, he sound like he's standing on business this year. And shout out to my boy Numb Hand Neil. I'm sure he done slapped plenty Eagle fans on the way in here. He says, what's up, gents? Slapped 14 Eagle fans before hiding out in the trap from the authorities. We got another dog at wide receiver. You are absolutely right, sir. I appreciate y'all. Real talk. We got us a dog. And he went to Georgia, too, by the way.
And so, see, let me show you how hypocritical y'all. This dude, Cowboy Mac. Can we just be happy for today? Dang. And I'm like, fuck no, you can't. If Landlord didn't give me 5 minutes to be happy, y'all can't. Y'all don't get a whole day if y'all didn't give me 5 minutes to celebrate Booker in the draft. Y'all didn't let me have 5 minutes of.
This ain't the same though, boss.
No, hell no, bro. Y'all didn't give us 5 minutes. You vented, Rome vented, Star vented. Everybody vented that night, and y'all went on for hours, bro. Y'all took up all the rest of the picks. Y'all start venting at 12. Y'all done stopped into 31.
Who is y'all? See, I was about 5.
You was the main one. You the one that came in shooting the worst. But y'all over here, man. Can we be happy? But this is what I gotta say something about that though. I gotta say something about this real quick, and I mean this. I'm gonna say this with my chest out. We got Rome in the house. What's up, OG? Check this out, bro. I mean this with all my heart. I'm gonna read this with bass. This is our problem. We want to be happy and feel good versus being honest about what our players need to work on. I'm gonna hit my own button. Once we get past this phase of just wanting to feel some happiness, we will get serious about real football talks. I mean that shit. Because I'm going to tell you something. A lot of people now got a problem with what I said and showed about Pickens on his separation. But my question is, where was y'all when I was showing that shit live? Where was the complaints on, hey man, Dak has developed? Well, maybe y'all should have told me to expand my list of who to look at when I was doing 24 hours worth of receiver work live. And it showed me, man, it's really showing me a lot of us just want to feel good. Boss, don't mess it up. We feel good right now. It's like, no, at some point we got to talk football though. We got to say what he got to work on, bruh. Cause see, that goes into the negative. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I'm gonna give you the negative and the positive at the same time. Cause I know a lot of y'all can't just handle the negative. So I'm gonna just be honest with you. There's 2 things I saw in this film that's negative. The positive is he can fix it. Is when he crosses his face, he uses his hands. And I'm telling you, as a corner, I love receivers that do that because I can attach onto you and I can stop your momentum and it helps me stay tight. Your better receivers, when they cross in your face, use their feet. So he's already quick enough, but he doesn't use his feet when he crossing your face. He tries to physical you, and that tightens the separation. That's a negative, but you gotta say it, call it out, and tell him how to fix it. And worse, I even showed another receiver do it the right way, and people still got mad. I'm like, damn, man, I'm trying to teach how to do the shit the right way, and you fucking want to cry. Number 2, and it was only 2 things I saw from the film. It was only 2. At the top of his route, he doesn't accelerate in breaking or out breaking. That allows corners to close the distance. That's a negative. But guess what? You can fix it. How do you fix it? Drills. You got to drill it when you're working with your receiver coaches to accelerate at the top of the route. He decelerates. And I was showing that from the film. And when I was watching the film, if people was listening, I was saying, I see burst. I see an athlete. Then I finally saw what was causing the 2.3. I say, it's at the top of his route. And instead of fans being happy that I found out was hurting him, they now in their feelings today. Can we get over this? It's like, no, we got to talk about this so we can say what he need to work on.
Yeah.
That's my negative and positive.
My negative is, I want to kind of prepare people for this a little bit.
Yeah.
Like George Pickens is a kind of a hothead.
Yeah.
But I just want you to keep in mind, think Dez a little bit. Like the same way we had to kind of handle Dez or brace ourselves for Dez, I think it's similar. I ain't saying he is Dez, but I'm telling you, it's gonna be times where he might have a fussing match with Dak on the sideline or something. It might happen. So just prepare yourself. He might get a penalty or so, cause he's like that. Like he might just blow up sometimes. But that's what come with the territory with these type of receivers, man. Like we seen CD throw hissy fits. So let's not act like we above that. We know most receivers, they just act like that sometimes. And like I said, I kind of explained it on one of our episodes. I let you know, like, as a receiver, we literally paralyzed if we can't get the ball. We can't do nothing to change the game for real. We can block, we can do that type of stuff, but we know if we're not getting the football in our hands, we can't really dictate the way this game should be going. If the quarterback don't put it in my hands, we have no opportunity to help the team like that. So that's why receivers get so frustrated, because they competitive. They like, man, if you can't get me this ball, it's like we screwing up the whole game. If you the number one, you like, bro, the game is screwed up because you ain't giving me the ball. I need the ball, bro. If you want to see the full potential of CeeDee Lamb, what you had to do, put the ball in his hands. That's the only way they can affect the game. So that's why they blow up sometimes and get so frustrated, because they losing. They already competitive. They losing and they not involved in the game. So it's like, bro, if I was, you see how it works. It's a catch-22. We losing and I'm not involved. If I was involved, maybe we might not be losing. That's how they mind work. If you're a number one receiver, you feel like you can change the game.
I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna jump in on your negative. On that negative.
Yeah.
We are in the most toxic media environment in the world.
Facts. That's true.
So this is a negative that we have to be prepared for. Antics that's no big deal on any team is going to be magnified times 50 in Dallas. Get ready for that, Cowboy Nation. So,
did George Pickens just throw his mouthpiece on the ground? Oh my God.
Do you remember when they was trying to read CeeDee Lamb lips and Dak was just looking down and CeeDee Lamb was just saying, I got you, foe. Right? I got you, foe. Right? It was lip readers trying to find drama, bro.
Trying to interpret what he said.
So, this is what I want you to get ready for. And I'm telling you this now, Cowboy Nation. We got a lot of sensitive ass content creators and fans. This is what I mean. Like, we fell for the lie of a podcast being a major distraction. Think about that. Michael Parsons missed voluntary OTAs 2 years ago. We praised it. The next year, when it was time for him to get his money, they made it seem like he wasn't a leader. We are in a media environment that even if it's normal drama, they're gonna magnify it. So get ready. I'm letting you know. Pickens might go off on Dak. Yeah, he might show some passion, right? And we're going to make it bigger than what it is. You know what I'm saying?
True.
You might see him out there say, God damn, Dak. Because he's passionate.
Yeah.
Right? And for people who understand or played, will be like, oh, that's normal. That's normal. It's going to be writers. And then the local media is going to pick it up. And the national and Shannon show. I'm telling y'all, I'm just get ready, y'all. Get ready. So I want to pick up that negative behind you, bro. Because that one is coming. And it's going to come from your own people. I'm going to clip this out and I'm going to show y'all. This is what I was talking about. They overhyping this little itty bitty ass situation. Watch.
Yeah, y'all got to watch that. Dallas, we really used to it though, boss. We've been here before. We had Dez Bryant. We had T.O. We had players like that who they was like, yeah. I mean, it ain't. T.O. wasn't in the social media era like you said, but we still know how they blew up everything he did. Everything he did, they blew it up. It was in the headlines just the next day, ASAP. It was on the front page. T.O. did this and he did that. So you just gotta prepare yourself. And like sometimes it might not be that deep for real. And y'all don't turn on the young man. Give him a fair shot. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta understand, even his people at Pittsburgh was telling him, like, with the reputation you've built, that go back to reputation. You've built a reputation to where everybody knows your weakness is that you're a hothead. So everybody's gonna be poking at you.
Yep.
Constantly.
It's gonna happen.
Like everybody poking
Just
at
get
you.
ready.
The DBs you playing, the quarterbacks, I mean the wide receivers, everybody gonna be poking at you. Oh, you ain't like that. The DB, you see how he had Jordan Lewis in his feelings. Like Jordan Lewis talking crazy right now. Jordan Lewis talking crazy right now, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's gonna be poking that bear because they know that's a good way to get. That might help change the game for them. Like say for instance, a tight game. If you can get George Pickens to blow up and get a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty or something like that, you might have helped your team win the game. They use that as a strategy to get under people's head. Like every good coaches knew that. Like you will know that player on the team who you can get up under his skin and it can help you win. You know what I'm saying? So George Pickens got to be watching for that. Everybody's going to be picking at him, especially in Dallas. They going to be after you. And they got a target on your back, so don't blow up, young man. Keep your composure and focus on the main thing, which is the game.
Another negative. And this is a real negative.
Pressure to throw. Explain.
Pickens is in what?
He was here since 2022, I believe.
So basically, he trying to get a what?
Contract.
Does he have young ninja energy?
Yes, absolutely.
Does he know he need to put up numbers to get a bag?
Absolutely.
Let me try to add this Kool-Aid. Young ninja energy need numbers to stand out in the football marketplace. If I mix those two,
it could be what they say, explosive.
Yeah.
It could be explosive.
Yeah. So prepare yourself. Yeah.
But I wish I could talk to him. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. I wish I could talk to the young man. I really do. Cause I just want you to understand, like, sometimes it's almost like, y'all know I make music. Sometimes it ain't about making the best verse ever on somebody's song. Sometimes you want to just make the song better. I want George Pickens to make the song better. Like, don't just try to have the greatest verse ever. You know what I'm saying? You supposed to try to capture the song, see what the artist trying to do, and make the whole song better. Like, you might not have to go for 1,300 yards, but if you go for 1,000 or 900 and you was a great asset to the team and everything worked around you and you was just a model citizen, they looking at you like, hey, that we need that guy on our team. You know what I'm saying? Like, opposed to the asshole who got 1,300 yards that don't nobody want to talk to. Don't nobody want to be around.
Let me ask you a question. Was Philly winning?
What you mean?
Last year, was Philly winning?
Yeah.
How was they winning?
They was running the ball mostly.
Who did that affect?
A.J. Brown, and he complained about it.
And D. Smith. Yeah. D. Smith didn't complain openly, but guess who complained openly?
A.J. Brown.
Who was reading books on the sideline?
A.J. Brown.
Who was in the Super Bowl starts having a hissy fit?
A.J. Brown.
So listen,
that's
we just
what
see what we doing. That's why we said we had to prepare y'all and be raw and uncut. Cause some people ain't gonna talk about everything. You feel me? We gotta prepare y'all for everything. You know what I'm saying? So, and then there's also pressure from front office too that could happen. You on a run first team with two dynamic weapons. What sell tickets?
Points, putting up points, ringing that skull bell,
and throwing. See, Philly is okay with being boring. They fans fine with it. They coach fine with it. The only person that had a problem with it was AJ. So
yeah, on third and 4, they gonna go for it. They gonna run the ball, and now it's 4th and 1. And they gonna push. Now it's first down. That's they MO right there. It's happening.
Mm-hmm. So I think we would be foolish to not consider the environment, right? And see, I already told some of y'all when we get to the negatives, y'all might want to check out because some of y'all can't handle the truth. I'm being honest.
You can't handle the truth.
Y'all was completely fine when we was giving y'all all the positives, but when we start giving you the potential negatives, some of y'all just can't handle it.
You want answers? You can't handle the truth.
But everything we telling you is potential pitfalls that we have to keep our eyes open for. So if we concerned about them throwing the ball like that, we have to also be ready to get into another fight. And that fight is going to be let Brian cook. See, that's why I can't be dealing with quitters. I can't dealing with people that lose their stomach just because we lost the draft. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to keep your stomach tight and stay strong because we got a whole season to fight. If you quit in the off season, I can't trust you when the real bullets start flying. You feel me? The real bullets is when we in the season. You feel me? That's when we gonna have to probably say, listen, y'all throwing too goddamn much. You feel me? You know, are y'all ready for that? Or you go sink. You know what I mean? That's why I need to make sure we're ready for the next fights that's coming. This is my last negative. It wasn't too many. I already hit this one. Media magnet. We already hit that one.
Yeah.
That he gonna be a negative media magnet. He gonna be somebody that they go already be trying to create stories from. Manufacture
they
drama.
already talking about it. They already talking about it.
Yeah. And listen, and I like this. And let's keep up with this when it's time. He said, I'd rather have today's problem than yesterday's, boss. Welcome home, Pickens. Yeah. Let's stay right there, though. Because that's easy to say right now. But will you be like that when Pickens grab a Jordan Lewis on the other side in a close game? Are you going to be okay?
See, I feel like, that could be him. But like I said, some of that hot-headedness, he going to have to temper it down in Dallas, bro. He going to have to. Somebody going to have a conversation with him. Let him understand this is not Pittsburgh. They can't wait to blow the whistle on us. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that stuff, he going to have to tone it down a little bit. He is. Right. And let's not act like we strangers to this, boss. Come on now. They had people walking around. They had a babysitter for Dez, man. What we talking about?
Yeah.
Come on now. They had somebody to monitor Dez, to my understanding. Am I wrong or right?
You're right.
So, I don't think it's to that level. You know what I'm saying? He still had people within the Steelers organization speaking highly of him. So, regardless of what we done seen, they say he's just a passionate young man when it comes to football on the field. So, and one thing about it though, we probably be winning more than the Steelers was. You know what I'm saying? He got a better quarterback than the Steelers had.
Definitely.
So some of those frustrations might just be because of where he was and the element that he was in. You know what I'm saying? He's dealing with a lot of foolishness. All 3 years he been here, he probably had a different quarterback, if I'm not mistaken. So it's frustrating as a wide receiver, bro. Like I said, you go out there and cook somebody on a route, and then you wide open, and he throw the ball behind.
Yeah.
What the hell am I doing out here, man? I'm just running for the cardio, I guess.
Yeah.
That's how you be feeling after a while, and it hurts the fact that you can't help your team because of the inefficiencies of the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So, Of course he gonna blow up after a while. Of course he gonna blow up after not being a real competitor out here. It is what it is. But like we said, I honestly feel like this team does have a strong leadership right now. Real talk. I feel like Dak. I feel like CD and Micah. I feel like the culture that they done brought here. I feel like the foundation that they done brought here. They'll be able to take him under his wing and help him manage some of those, some of those episodes that he had.
Yeah. So
I really do. And I think Shotty a strong type of leader too. I could just see Shotty holds the room, bro. And I feel like it seemed like the Joneses then kind of empowered them a little bit. I don't know if they just starting on good faith, but Shotty cool with Steve, and it feel like he got a little power out here. I don't know. What you think, boss? I don't know, bro. It feel like he got a little power because I say one thing, they treating him right coming through the door. They did not do Mike McCarthy like this. They didn't. They ain't even let him call plays.
I honestly don't want to give Brian Schottenheimer all that credit though.
I'm saying I'm not doing it. I feel like Steve and them are blessing him with that type of energy.
You know why?
Because they cool, I guess. I don't know. What?
Because of the anger.
No,
I believe it's way more.
That. Hold on. I'm not saying that he's the reason that all this is happening. What I'm saying is I feel like the pressure that we've put and the culture, I feel like you have to give your coach a fair shot. I feel like they doing that though. You know what I'm saying? I really do. And I never give the Joneses no credit. Like, I feel like they giving him a fair shot. They starting this out on the right foot. Because look, I said we needed weapons. They tried to bury Mike McCarthy. They weren't finna give them to him.
Yeah.
So I said this before. I set Dallas up real talk. I said, listen, if they hire this new coach and start whipping them up, that tells me that they sabotage Mike. Like, for real. They sabotage Mike, bro. We know they did. So soon as Shotty get in here, he get a weapon. I'm just saying, we needed a weapon the whole time. That's all I'm saying. So now Shotty's getting a fair shot. I think that's good for the team. That's good for the culture. He getting a fair shot. Just like you said, Booker, him getting Booker. Do he get the credit for that? He wanted Booker, right?
Yeah.
Shotty wanted Booker. So
he had to fight for it.
That's a step in the right direction.
It is.
That's a step in the right direction. I'm all for that.
And this is the reason why I want to keep the first things first. Because I agree with you that they're helping Brian Schottenheimer. But I don't believe it has to do with them changing. I believe they was forced to change. I think the fans were so angry at watching Washington and Philly in the NFC Championship. That anger lingered for a while. You know what I'm saying? It's like it was everybody numbers was down. Your numbers was down. My numbers was down across the board, right? Cowboy Nation checked out. And then when Mike McCarthy left and them coaches came, you start seeing them come back. But they was still angry. They was looking, but they wasn't believing. They was like, I'll believe it when I see it. Because remember, everybody hated Brian at first. Remember?
I didn't. I liked it, Brian.
But I'm just saying the fans
From
was
last
like,
year.
the fans was like, man, this
They
so.
didn't like the hire because they didn't do the proper procedures
Yeah.
before they hired them.
And they was
They
taking it
didn't
out on
interview
Brian.
everybody. They
And that's
didn't
my
interview
point.
everybody.
They was
Yeah.
so they was sensing anger everywhere. It was anger everywhere. And they was and that's why they kept talking about our fans. We know that they kept talking about the fans. We know that our fans don't want us to do the same thing, expecting a different result. You know what I mean? They kept saying that it was the fans. And this is the last negative that I say on Pickens, on what I just said. This is the probably scariest negative to me. This is what I'm getting ready to say is absolutely the scariest negative. I'm scared that we lost our anger on Pickens. I'm scared that too many of us felt like this was the last move. And this is not the last move. This feels good. And I'm afraid that because we got Pickens, we go take our energy off of one tech. And we go take our energy off of cornerback and running back. But most importantly, I think we go take our energy off of keeping pressure on them to get that one tech. Because to a lot of fans, we ready to start the season now. And because of Pickens, we go stop putting pressure on front office and we go start wanting, now everybody trying to pressure me to be positive. And it's like, nah, we was doing better when we was mad. We was doing better when they was trying to earn our trust back. So stay mad. You still got holes. Yes, this was one of the bigger holes, but you still got holes. And one tech, in my opinion, is the bigger hole. It's a full-fledged crisis, and people ain't even talking about it. People out here believing that Jay in the equal rotation with Mozzie is gonna be the solution. Something that has never worked. I believe in Mozzie going into year 3. But if y'all over here like, okay, we good because we got Pickens, Jerry has duped you.
Yeah, I think I'm not even good on the offense yet. You know what I'm saying? I still want a running back too. So, I mean, I feel where you're coming from. That is dangerous, saying that we good and they take it and be like, okay, we good. But I'll say this. We need a veteran defensive tackle for sure. I'll say that. We need some defensive tackle help. We signed all these players and free agents, and I don't know why we didn't just get a guy, at least a body, to see what happens. You know what I'm saying? But what type of compensation you trying to give up? What type of level of player you trying to get?
And that's the sad part, is I'm really just want somebody that's not gonna be moved by doubles. I don't even want that much. I want somebody that's not gonna get blown off the ball.
We gotta put some focus on them though.
We doing that now.
Saying?
So I'm gonna tell y'all, because me and Henny finna go live in 10 minutes. But I'm gonna tell you what we gonna do. Me and Henny already talked about it. We go break down Pickens, and then immediately we gonna start doing a lot of work on Chubb, DTs, teams that got a lot of DTs, who's gonna likely be available after June 1st. Prepare yourself for a long war. If you got soft over losing it in the draft, you probably ain't gonna have the stomach to fight for DT. We need some real men and some real women who don't lose heart because you lost a battle. Nah, we need to keep up and keep fighting. And I'm gonna tell you something else about this one tech. You might have to fight this shit all the way up until the trade deadline. So we talking about 5 months of fighting. You think they ready for that, Landlord?
I don't know, man. I hope they, like I said, that's why I felt like this was a positive move in the right direction, because they didn't wait till they failed to try to correct it. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully they don't do the same thing with this. When they said they had 2 big moves on the horizon, maybe it's a DT. Who knows? Everybody think it's a running back. Maybe it's a DT.
I would cry.
We'll have to see. You know what
I'm saying? I would give him an A+ in the offseason.
And to be honest, the only reason, I'm going to be straight up with y'all, the only reason I'm feeling like running back is super, super important to me is because y'all want to be a running team. Okay? Like, this is what y'all told me.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm putting that running back up there.
Yep.
But to be honest, like you said, defensive tackle will be something that we've been missing for years. Yes. I've been saying buy one. We can't draft one. We're bad at it, okay? It's certain things you got to be self-aware. You're not good at drafting them. You're not good at developing them. So you probably need to just buy one. Go steal one from somebody else. If he good, just go pay for it. It's no shame in that. You know what I'm saying? Just go buy one. If he's dominant, you might just have to pay the money for him one day.
He say, you guys want dogs everywhere in one off season. Impossible. Bro, we too close for that defeated ass energy. We too close now, bro. The hell? Dog, this is what I be talking about. We think we done because of goddamn Pickens. Bro, we got $36 million in cap space. We go free up more cap space when we sign Micah, and we over here talking about we can't. I told y'all, bro. I told y'all, man. I'm afraid that these boys, because we got Pickens, we ain't gonna want to fight no more. We can't do it in one offseason. Shit, we 2 players away with about 40, 50 million. What you mean? Why is can't even in our vocabulary?
That's true. And you can really go spend for a significant one or go trade.
You can go crazy. Like, now, Cowboy Nation, man, we better, cock your goddamn pistols. We too close. And you got a front office that you know will be close and then get timid. You got to keep fighting. You got to keep pushing. It was our push that got us Pickens. Don't stop.
I got one question, though. Like I asked you before, could the scheme help us in that regard too, though?
No.
I ain't saying that the defensive tackle is not needed. I'm just saying, could the scheme help us stop the run better?
No. And I'm gonna explain why on my final word. This is my final word. This is what I call DT a crisis, okay? And I figured out how to properly explain DT and why we've been missing it. So if one of us was looking at a boxer develop and he was in the amateurs, and in the amateurs he was only fighting 7 rounds, and then he moved up to the pros where he had to fight 12 rounds, would you expect him to fight great in his first time having to fight 12 rounds? No. Why? Because that's a big leap of punishment in a physical sport. DT is the only position, and guard and center, to where there's a literal fight every play. That's why they called their first time they put hands on you punch. So it takes a while for DTs to develop. Just because you taking them from 7 rounds, or in college they was playing 12 games, now they playing 17. So we literally have Mozzie as the only one tech who has game experience for 2 years. Everybody else under him has none. 0. So what you're asking the DTs to go 12 rounds and be great for the first time. Scheme won't help that. That is my final word, and it is absolutely an emergency that we should be just as mad about as we was with wide receiver 2. That's my final word.
I agree with Boss on that. We do need to make sure we address the defensive tackle situation. We've been getting victimized by the run game for a long time. Like I said, I've been telling people to buy one. I wasn't even supporting us drafting Mozzie Smith. I said no, buy one, because I know it was gonna take 2-3 years. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even want that, because that sounded like future to me. So, of course, I'm in support of trying to buy a defensive tackle. Go trade for one. Go pay for one in some kind of way, because that could be a big time, you know what I'm saying, kinking our armor for real, because we got everything else solidified, in my opinion. Besides running back and defensive tackle, if we get those 2 things sold up, I feel like this team will be real competitive. I feel like we can match up, go toe-to-toe with anybody we need to. So I'll say this, as far as George Pickens go, I really do feel like, you know what I'm saying, we did exactly what we needed to do. We didn't need nobody that was slightly better than Toba, slightly better than Mingo. We needed somebody who was head and shoulders above these guys, so we can actually be a dominant type offense that's a threat on both sides. You maximize your top 3 receiver with getting him a running mate on the other side, man. That's a beautiful thing. Now you finna see a whole nother CD. You finna see a whole nother George Pickens, because it works together. It all works together. So if you can solidify that with a running back in the run game, you got a dominant O-line. I should have me a dominant O-line, and you solidify that with another nice back. I feel like we cooking with hot grease, man. We can really be a competitor in this league. We can really go to a nice place in the playoffs. We can actually have a puncher's chance out here, man. Real talk. I ain't saying we winning the Super Bowl, but if we do those 2 things, we'll have a puncher's chance at the big one, in my opinion. That's my final word.
Yeah. So I'm finna come right back with Henny, and we gonna go deep into this film. So y'all take y'all a water break. Appreciate you, and congratulations, Team Weapons. Congratulations, Landlord. You deserve it, my brother. Real talk.